Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today I wanted to answer, maybe or not, the age-old question, but I thought it was super relevant. I saw this question in a brief discussion being played out on the official COD Discord where it's, are we playing a Kingdom Builder or are we playing an Alliance Builder? And I think this question is very important to not only talk about, but to answer. And so today I'm going to cover both sides of it. I'm going to give you my opinion. We'll talk about some other game comparisons and how it factors into COD. And then the unique system, or we should just say COD system that they're applying. And then how can we approach that going forward? So again, a couple points we're going to talk about as always. If you enjoy the content, make sure you sub, like, ring the notification bell. If you want to join and be a part of our conversation, hit up the Discord. You can find a link to that in the pinned comment description right down below. Okay, so let's start with just initially defining what is a Kingdom Builder. So I'm just going to give it to you super simple here. I define a Kingdom Builder based on the game having a sandbox environment, right, which is a plot of land, and thousands to tens of thousands of players get plopped or placed on this land in this case, right, in our outside zones. And if I give you an example here, it might be easier just to kind of look at the map from an easier standpoint. If I go to explore, right? So on this plot of land, and all these players are going to get placed into the outside zone or zone 1. And from here, they're told, figure it out. And we're talking everything from making an alliance or joining an alliance, or not joining an alliance, the communication between alliances, diplomacy, relations, how territory is expanding, reasons on why fights might break out or not, alliances, enemies, thinking about how are we going to make it to a future zone, so everything you can think of, hierarchy, your internal relations, your recruiting, migration, diplomacy, all of these factors that you could arguably think about if you were to get a big chunk of land in the world and we're told, hey, you need to create a brand new country out of it. That is more or less almost how you can approach Kingdom Builders, and specifically COD and others. So that is how I look at what a Kingdom Builder is. And the objective is to, in short, build the kingdom, right? You're doing all these little things, regardless if they're independent or if you're doing them in a coordinated way. And everything is kind of, you're building everything here, and then it's just all funneling, right? And kind of climaxing, if you will, or peaking at building out this pyramid, right? You're building out all this empty space to essentially fulfill a kingdom. Now, when we look at COD, an argument could easily be made where you say, well, look, at the moment, there is no king or queen type of title. Obviously, if you look at games like Rise of Kingdoms, Infinity Kingdom, others, you are able to establish yourself as some type of king or queen from the alliance that either, wins an event. In IK, it's, COR, and ROC, it's you capturing Lost Temple. And then you get essentially kind of ruler tools that you can use to manage the kingdom, sending king's mails, issuing titles, positive or issuing negative titles, giving gifts out, controlling migration, etc. This is at the moment, right? Let me be very clear here. At the moment, this is not in Call of Dragons, right? You have the Flame Dragon, which you could argue is the final centerpiece. Maybe the devs will eventually add in king-type tools where you can do things like send a king's mail, issue gifts, issue titles, control a migration cap. This is the thing. This is why I lean in the direction of thinking that they're most likely, that there's a good chance they may add something like that. Because they're going to add migration. So either they're going to come up with their own system for controlling migration, which in my opinion is just absolutely I don't just want to come out and say it's the wrong way to do it. I have not seen a system where the developers set how migration will operate and the players in that kingdom have just absolutely no control, right? It doesn't mean that it can't be done well. I just have not seen it done at all to some type of efficient standard. This is why I lean more in the direction of kingdom autonomy, where you are able, as the kings and or queens, to control the kingdom migration cap and then accept who you're going to let in and who you're not going to let in to a degree. But when it comes to alliances, yeah, at the moment, it really is, hey, we're building up our alliance. You could do whatever you want as far as, hey, I want to just control everything on the map, or I'm just going to kind of, stay in my lane, where the game really, at least currently, favors more alliance and or alliances that are grouping or favoring, and because until they have some type of king or queen type titles or roles or some type of hierarchy or support system, you really, in the ideal sense of how to kind of go about, if you want to have a high percentage chance of winning consecutive and consistent seasons, you would just form a group of alliances and then just basically keep that alliance/union from season to season to season to season, right? That's really, if you're looking at kind of the meta right now for giving yourself the highest percentage chance, that's really one of the best ways to do it. And a prime example is you look at Kingdom 4 and SS1-1, the first merged kingdom between Kingdoms 1 through 4, and Kingdom 4 is just doing it. Again, they really are kind of the gold standard right now, right? Where they pretty much came in with the majority of their alliances unified going in to it, and it pretty much ended up being Kingdoms 1, 2, and 3 versus 4. Right, and for the most part, Kingdom 4 is still pretty unified to my knowledge. I haven't heard that anything really drastic has happened. And so you're going to be looking to them in the next season as well when servers 5 and 6 merge into Kingdom SS1-1. So, again, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's opportunities and areas of improvement that they can do, but they really are a great example of, right, a kingdom unifying. And you take a look at like a server 2 where it's not really unified, right, but they just have like a strong mega alliance in that type of like the TA situation. So that's a good example. If you look at like TA, who is this type of mega alliance, and then they're just kind of picking up friendly alliances or others, right, that might want to ally here and there, compared to the opposite end of that spectrum, right? And obviously there's things in between, but then you have, like we said, the Kingdom 4 situation where it's like, hey, almost everyone in this kingdom's unified versus we just have a mega alliance over here. And it is interesting, right? Because you could arguably decide, look, I'm just going to take the mega alliance approach. We're just going to try and like fit the top 150 or 200 players in one alliance, and we'll just go from season to season and just wreck face, right? Or we'll just be the biggest kids with the largest stick in the yard. You could also play it out where your alliance just maybe partners with other strong alliances from other kingdoms, or you just, again, because it depends on how you really want to play. Some people might go in with the idea of, okay, we want to try and have fair and balanced power. Others might just say, look, we just want to, union with the strongest and best alliances so that way we can have the highest percentage chance of winning. Maybe you'll have an alliance who just wants to solo, right? And they're just like the mercs, if you will. Right, and that's kind of, not to say TA is like that, but you look at them as just how big they are and how much power they have, right? And you can make the argument they don't necessarily need to ally really with anyone. They could do it solo. However, they have allied with some alliances here and there, at least for this current Merge Kingdom season, and that is an approach that you can take. Like I said, it's basically you can go from anywhere from solo mega alliance all the way to Kingdom Unified, multiple alliances that are fighting, right? And really that is the current approach. That's the current meta, like we talked about, because like we said, there is no king tools or king operations or kingdom support mechanisms or mechanics that we can utilize. However, I would love to see something like that happen in the future. And again, that's why I say I really think the meta right now is looking to try and form a group of active and healthy alliances so that way it's not just you relying on yourself. Because in my opinion, running the mega alliance structure, yeah, it can be cool and it can be fun. More often than not, when those happens, it really puts almost an obscene higher level of pressure on the management team, i.e. the lead and the officers of that alliance, where I'll just give you one example. A lot of mega alliances that I've seen, typically everyone's hungry, right? It's, we don't want to unify. We don't want to have organized PvP. We just want to go out there and crush face. We just want to kill everyone. We want to attack everyone. Like, that's what it's there for, right? It's pretty much, usually it's in those cases, it's an alliance that has a higher percentage chance of not the majority or major collective of spenders. And because they're progressing, they want to go and play and have fun. right? Because they're spending to advance and get farther, so that way they have an advantage over other players. And that is just, again, it can be hard. It's like Pandora's box, man. Once you open it, it is so hard to close. And I can't tell you how many times I've consistently seen this just in normal kingdoms, right? Where you're actually in games like Rock and IK, where these things happen pretty often, right? More often than you may think. And so that's why I say, right, it is somewhat of a double-edged sword because of the way that COD system is currently set up. It's, do you fully dive into that and embrace it? Do you go the other way? And so, again, that's something that people are going to have to figure out. I have my opinions on it. And, again, I'd love to know what you guys think. So let me know down in the comments below, right? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know what your opinion is on the matter, right? How are you looking at COD right now? Do you think they might eventually add in some type of King support tool or system, tools and or system? I'd love to know. That's going to do it for me. I hope this video was somewhat educational. I actually really like talking about this stuff. So that's going to be it. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.